Oh, okay. Cool. Is he on the weather? Or is he just taking PSAs?
Going by our meeting room clock, we'll go ahead and begin this evening's meeting. Sarah, could you call the roll, please?
Here.
Present.
Here. Here.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda before you. Do you have a motion for that?
There's no changes or modifications. I move we approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have anyone signed up for Sunshine Law speakers? Okay, thank you. As far as the meeting minutes go, approval of those, it looks as though a quorum present to do that this evening based on who was at last meeting, who's present at this meeting. We'll table that and move approval of the minutes to the next meeting. We need a motion for that.
Make a motion to table.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay. We do have two public hearings this evening. Our first being the BTM office building.
Excuse me, the request is for sketch plan advancement with sidewalk exception. There was a revision done to the staff report in an effort to provide a little bit more clarification under the waivers and exceptions section. So that's different than probably the staff report we received in the packet, but it just points out the sections of the ordinance. So it's BTM office building, file 55-19. The developer is Close Properties LLC. The engineer is Civil Planning and Design. Falling Waters District, map 14, parcel 23.1. The property is located at the east side of Williamsport Pike, US Route 11, approximately 306 feet south of its intersection with Hammonds Mill Road. This project proposes a 4,296 square foot office building on approximately 0.531 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The developer is requesting an exception to section 705 to not install a sidewalk along US Route 11, Williamsport Pike. This project meets two requirements for sidewalks in the 2009 Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The first one is under letter A, on one side of arterial and collector streets to be built at the time of street construction, and E, on one side of streets which provide direct access to single-family attached dwellings, also duplex, triplex, quadruplex, townhouses, etc. While there are no other sidewalks or pedestrian systems adjacent to this property, it is located in a growth area shown on the Berkeley County Growth Management Map, which is in Berkeley County Comprehensive Plan. The county engineer, Dirk Stansberry, issued a letter of completion on February 14th, 2020, and stated that the sketch plan meets the requirements to advance to the preliminary plan stage. Staff recommends denial of the sidewalk exception. The sketch, however, meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, we recommend advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary.
Okay, thank you. Again, this is a public hearing, so before we ask anybody to come forward, we would like to see who's representative this evening of the project.
Very close to my name, and I am the managing member of
Thank you. Do we have anybody here from the public that would like to speak concerning this project at this time?
There's no one to speak. I move public hearing be closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Close.
Question on exception, when does that come in? Okay, if I speak to that, or
Yes, the public hearing's closed and you. No, you're fine.
no, in regards to the exception that we are requesting for section 705.1 of the sidewalk requirement, we believe that the exception is warranted since the environment is a very dangerous situation. Whereas the location of the sidewalk would only extend the length of our property less than run directly north into the Valley Health property and their entrance south, the entrance Pine Creek. It should also be noted that both properties contiguous to our property, East Mountain Health and the aforementioned Pine Creek structures to the south, recently completed in the last 24 months. They do not have sidewalks on their property. In fact, we would be the only property between 901 and Brown Road to them. So in summary, I respectfully request the exception be in line with your recent approvals and in the name of safety. Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Commission, do you have any questions for Mr. Close? Or of the staff?
Denial of the sidewalk exemption or approval of the sidewalk exemption is concurrent with what we have done down there in the past in those other structures. Is that correct?
Well, when you're ready to make a motion, we'd like to have it in two separate motions,
Right.
please.
First one I'll make is to grant the sidewalk exception of the ordinance, of what is it, for 705, and not install the sidewalks.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
We have one, okay. Okay. And then our next motion,
Just, I move to grant the, or to accept the engineer's report and advance to the preliminary plan stage from the
Second.
sketch plat.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approved on both of those. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is also a public hearing request for consideration. The project is Clary Grove, file number 56-19. Developer is, I don't know how to say that, Revolt Properties LLC.
No.
The engineer is Triad Engineering. It's in the Opequon District, map 1, parcel 8.1, and tax map 10G, parcel 98. This property is located approximately 0.3 miles north of the intersection of US Route 11 and West Virginia Route 9, left onto Meadow Lane. The project proposes a 47,000 square foot expansion and parking lot expansion on 5.8 acres to be served by public water and sewer. At the February 3rd, 2020 Planning Commission meeting, the Planning Commission voted to deny an exception to section 705 to not install a sidewalk. The developer has submitted a request for consideration, asking the Planning Commission to allow them to continue without installing a sidewalk. Pleasant Court. Section 705.1 of the Berkeley County 2009 subdivision ordinance states at least one sidewalk shall be required except where exempted by the Planning Commission, and the following criteria are met. A, on one side of arterial and collector streets to be built at the time of street construction. B, on one side of all L3 class streets to be constructed in conjunction with development of the property. C, on one side of any industrial street to be constructed at the time of street construction. D, in all land development units except manufactured home communities. And E, on one side of streets which provide direct access to single-family attached dwellings, duplex, triplex, quadruplex, townhouses, etc. This project only meets the requirement of direct access to single-family attached dwellings. Directly across from the existing and proposed employee parking on Pleasant Court, there are two single-family attached dwellings. If the developer was required to install a sidewalk, it would be on the site's side of the road, not directly in front of the single-family attached dwellings. Also, the sidewalk would only go the length of their property, extending from the dead end of Pleasant Court and ending approximately 260 feet from the intersection of Pleasant Court and Meadow Lane. In the agenda packet, you will find the approved sketch plan with a red line depicting where the sidewalk would be if the developer were required to install it. Engineering staff concurs with planning staff. Planning staff recommends approving the request for consideration, allowing the developer to not install a sidewalk along Pleasant Court.
Thank you. Representative for the project?
Eric Gosser with Triad Engineering.
Thank you. Public hearing time. If there's anybody that would like to speak from the public, please come forward at this time. If you could also sign in your name there too. She's asking about her contact.
There's nothing. So they're gonna drill jackhammer just to do the damage. It's gonna be hard. Gonna be the construction they had to place. I knew they were drilling roots or something. It's not my house. So, really, you know, what else? This construction. Sidewalks, not that if you have to do the sidewalks, that's gonna be more drill. In that whole area.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else from the public present to speak? Close.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second?
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Gosser, do we have anybody here on the planning commission questions for Mr. Gosser?
I don't really have any questions. Obviously, we board can't say what kind of damage might or might not happen to our property. Assuming that we'll be doing pre-blast surveys or well, even at that, you might still might want to survey the property just in case a ramming or whatever might from it. Protect yourself and the homeowner too.
That'd be my suggestion also. Because we had, there was a lot of foresight with the Procter & Gamble project that they went into a lot of pre-blasting surveys on a lot of homes in there, so it's worth the time spent.
It documents all the properties and protects both sides.
She mentioned, was there test borings out there?
We did test points.
Okay. So taking into consideration of this, comments from the public and also from the planning commission board. Is there any other questions for Mr. Gosser?
Two motions on this one again? Just one? Okay, this is just for the sidewalk exemption. I move we accept the staff recommendation and approving the request for consideration allowing the developer to not install the sidewalks on Pleasant Court.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
This evening, we have discussion, and we're looking for action, if possible, concerning the developers agreement template that was in your packet and the resolution that accompanies it. And so we're wondering if you all had a chance to read the proposed developers agreement and resolution, and if so, we would like it if you are able to make a
It's kind of straightforward, what needs to be done.
In a nutshell, what changed?
in a nutshell.
Yeah, for the
I
previous
think
developers.
the only change was, and Andy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the only thing that changed may be the fact that there's a resolution tied to it and, maybe a period of time in which the, developers have to complete the project.
There are details throughout, so
Yeah.
I hope that you have read it.
Would you like me to finish?
Good evening. Back when I first got here in December, I was talking to the staff, and I put together a developers agreement to try to be consistent with engineering and planning and doing. And the whole point of this is that when a final plat is to have this agreement recorded back to back with the final plat, sign covenants, restrictions, a bond, and the bond worksheet. So it's all in the same packet with the resolution that's provided. We recorded all this. And first of all, to give recorded at the courthouse knowledge that this final plat is bond required under statute in the specific work shows. This development agreement also incorporates what engineering has been done for going for the last few months now, for almost a year. It gives developer 27 months from the date of finish the infrastructure with a 112-month extension, so that it's not an open-ended agreement. Engineering has been doing that on the bond sheets for the last several months. They've been doing that, so now it's just doing it. It talks about how we're going to call the bond, how much notice that we're going to give to the developer to cure the notice of violation, and it talks about how we're going to reduce this bond. A lot of the stuff is stuff that we've already done in the past. This just wraps it up into one document. Also, under state statute, you're allowed to put some final plat. And in talking to the staff, there were a few things that kept coming up that been here for you consideration. And that includes, like, for example, subdivisions being mowed and maintained. For that, a lot, this requires that if you have houses that are being constructed, the vacant lots have its trash in its yard mowed. Removable of upon completion of construction. Do this, but instances where site has not been cleaned up of all the refuse free. And so, and removal of all temporary buildings and structures within a month of final acceptance improvements. So this development agreement, and one other thing, a dedicated construction contract. That. So anyway, if you have any questions or concerns, I'm happy to answer them. I think it was pretty straightforward. Staff has reviewed it and made ups, but again, if you have questions.
One question would be if, when you have a continuation of a project, let's say over 500 lots, sometimes the constraints of the subdivision itself, topographical, won't allow completion within the 27 months plus a year. Is that fair to say that we can maybe base it on like from 1 to 400 lots?
Well, this agreement
Flat, okay.
is in final plat, doesn't.
Not based on the preliminary plat.
Okay.
Yes.
So it also, this developed, I think,
Accountable.
what can I complete reasonably complete? I'm not in final plan. Construction. And so, engineering. And frankly, no one's coming in here with final plats, any, 200 to 300
Right, at
lots
this time,
anyway.
yeah.
Right.
They're not gonna pay taxes on lots they're not
Right,
gonna develop.
that's.
Yeah.
So this makes them think about what can I legitimately accomplish in that amount of time while protecting the homeowner as well, of having some sort of sense of when is this going to be completed.
It's like a developer's property maintenance agreement.
And this is authorized under A of the West Virginia Code and your ordinances of development agreement. But really, the whole of the agreement and the resolution is all together to tell the whole story about that final plat with regards to the covenant restrictions, the bond, and the plat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks.
So,
All documents, this can be a living document. So if it turns out that somehow we've overlooked or something, always come back, talk about necessary
Amendments.
revision, amendment. It doesn't have to go through a constitutional amendment process to amend this document.
so the action that you guys are looking for is just the commission, the planning
To
commission's.
allow staff to start using this technique.
Is there any other questions about this updated developers? And do you want to recommend that they, that it's okay for them to go ahead and use it? If so, then let's have a motion.
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Do we have anything else? I don't see anything on the agenda. Okay. How about a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
I got another meeting to go to, guys. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Take the rest of the day off.
Grab a line with your Corona.
Hi, Eric.
Thanks for switching chairs with me.
Oh, no problem. Glad to do it.
Have a good evening.
You as well. Thank you.
Anytime.